Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to thank you for coming to grace this media event theme, which talks about Mr. Martin. Before delving into the programs of the day, I want us to do our prayers in our various ways. Thank you very much. Once again, I would want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this auspicious gathering. If you could recall, back in 2017 rather, lawyer ASSAN Martin was an aspiring mayoral candidate for the KMC. He later joined forces with Team Papanjai, who was supported as an independent candidate in the mayoral race. Again, most of you know Mr. Martin's track record of advocating for human rights, his active participation in social and political issues in the Gambia. Personally, Mr. Martin has engaged in a lot of consultations with several political parties in an effort to create a formidable force to compete in the coming December elections. On that basis, Mr. Martin is inclined to give you a brief update as to how things were unfolding. He will also take the opportunity to do a special announcement after assessing the prevailing situations of the political arena in the Gambia. Without much ado, since time is limited, I will quickly explain the order of this press briefing. After this introductory statement, Mr. Martin will give a brief report and update us on how the talks were unfolding. Then a special announcement would be made as to the position of ASSAN Martin and team. Then we would open the floor for question and answer session, and the press would be given the opportunity to ask 3 questions each. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Opposition parties, how they can work together with the common goal to unseat the current government that has failed on its mandate to deliver on the reforms and to rebuild the failing institutions to deal with the 21st century challenges. In today's Gambia, we are witnessing a government that lacks vision and direction as to how to move this country to the next level. It is for these reasons that we as concerned Gambians, decided to engage political parties to rise beyond their party interests to help consolidate their efforts to usher in a new change and to bring back sanity and restore sovereignty. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a brief update on the recent alliance talks that 2 political parties participated in. First, it was sometime back in 2021, that 2 major political parties engaged me to chair their negotiations to explore the beginning of a potential alliance. The talks went well until we reached a stage where we felt that certain issues need to be clarified and to be decided by the leadership. At that stage, we put the talks on hold, pending the meeting of the leaders at a later date. But let me emphatically say that the 2 parties, APRC, GDC, are still open. They are still open to talk and to have a conclusive deal within weeks if they are ready for it. Depending on the meeting of the leaders. Also, it is clear that parties can re-engage. They can re-engage at any time soon, especially within the coming weeks. This is their option as far as we know. Despite the difficult political situation and the emergency of several parties, myself and two other concerned Gambians convened some political parties to discuss a strategic need of coming together, where most of the representatives of those parties at that meeting subscribed to the idea of working to form an alliance leading to a national unity government. Almost all the parties present agreed to the need of joining forces and resources to help effect change come December 4. However, on our subsequent meeting that took place on the 4th of July 2021, some political parties raised new issues that they need time to consult their party supporters or party bases to decide the kind of alliance that we proposed. At that point, I will reiterate that until today, some political parties are still engaged in consultation with their political partners in trying to form a credible alliance. But again, we repeat, the time is the essence. I therefore urge the public to exercise patience for a compromise initiative that is envisaged within the coming weeks. Now that talks of alliance at a party level, at least the committee levels of some parties, I myself and my team have carefully reviewed the situation and will also assess, we assess the political statistics in the past elections to give us a guide to reach a very noble decision. Finally, I am here today to announce that myself and my team have decided to all our families, to all our friends, and to all our supporters and well-wishers that, and also to the general public, that we have committed to the following pronouncements. Our commitments to these pronouncements is, constitutional given rights, and we wish to exercise it as we think fit. First, we in Team ASSAN are in support of Honorable Mama Kande's agenda and manifesto. We are in support of his agenda and manifesto to bring maturity and smart leadership to the Gambian people come 2021 election. We are also endorsing his candidature for the December 2021 elections. And we will also engage and support his efforts to reach out to other political parties and to stakeholders such as independent candidates to work in partnership for a national unity government. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that Honorable Mama Kande, as a working partner with other political parties or independents, they may help us to save our sovereignty, which is very paramount in this political era. He will help us be a unifier that can help to tamper down the current polarization that we are experiencing under the current administration. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, I thank you all once again, and I crave your indulgence to respect our decision to throw our weight on the GDC for a better Gambia. To save time, to save what is left in this country, it is important for us to rub shoulders and try our hopes to restore aspirations in the Gambians as always. I now inform the audience and members of the media that the floor is open once again for questionings, and we will try to deliver the answers. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be brief as to what we have said in the few local languages. First of all, I'll try to do it in the Mandinka and then close it with the Wolof. I thank everybody in Amobe Kontong for coming on this occasion. It's a media occasion that ngaminke jang so that make certain announcements. I mean, ngalongko certain media houses, radios, you know, in disseminating the news day. It is always important. Puralia faham. Minketa wolongko nata janne. Purkana just to give an update and announcement. Okay. Ngamin for ni mintambita wolom kodrong signing tonya wato amam sia. So ndol ngana effort okay as concerned Gambians. Parce que ngamin jibe wolom ko partiol siatale kabring 2016 falimoketa. And in that case, nga jibe ko opposition party min siata foya jibe fanwo nyanta do ko kala nyame wala tinanten na dol coordinators dol minul somebody some of them ibe bandala bankolto some are here mulita as concerned Gambians ko kana ja partiol jibe bebe separately. So ngana effort okay nga initiative for ma pour ka partiol bring. But jani wobe parti fulonuli engage ila kacha kono wolom APRC and GDC wolo ya kumase le kabring March. So kabring kachata na kacha londi dulale to no nko kacha be keta kumaya tabari na londi dulale to pour ila alpha cc yenyo kacha pour o kacha se bon wo kacha dum amambang ngamin fodron hanibi as a kenole amanga keko na kacha file no kacha benjele hanibi. So what we expect now is nyimbi call minkana i party flow sonta is a sinole ndol na fole moldol se involve so that it will be a drawing kacha. So wo fanam bijele bari kabrim bota je fanam quickly wala mo control bota je nga party dol fanam kumandile kacha keta wo kacha fanang nga kuma nga katale sanyin hanibi nga moiko party dol hanibi nga wo kacha samba to the party leto to a committee level. So ndol filter ko sanyin baydi nga push le nga di ka party la ndol we will take a side. I mean tole funti je party le si kacha. So wolatina ndol wulita kabrin tenen na timo fanang nga jibe ko sanyin donya tonya wato tije nga jibe parti juma me min fenkela no so that nae do koke wala nga mutae pour tuwabol ka nga support coming in December election. Kabiri nga kuol be jibe nga kuol be kaja evaluate mununta ko nko parti komin GDC honorable Mama Kande nga wota nga jibe abayri ate sontale ko anim parti dolbe do ko kelale. And Asontago unity government is important for Gambia. So Ngajibe ko fanang agenda is definitely an agenda that Ndolbe say mean dokuno in the sense that it's good for Gambia. So wala tina bi nata puruka wale for ni media eko Ndol nimpareta ni GDC party under Honorable Mama Kande, former MP of Jimara, pour aike candidate oti come 2021 elections. So silimaron wachi gata rek moy waxtaan bi ñu fi def mooy woon rek dañ ñëwoon tey lii media session la nekkul loo xam ne bëggoon nañu wax nit ñi xam nga ñu ñëw fii pour fanfare but media bi ñoom moom lii te ñoom ñoo war a lifin ñu laajte su ko defee ñun tam ñu wax leen si luñ xam liñ gisoon mooy ba change bi amee in 2016 dañ gis ne parti yu bari ñëw nañ so si boobaa ñu gis ne tamit élection yogu na jege na si élection si nag ñun suñ maas gi as concerned Gambians ak suñ taxawaay ñu ne buñ toog di seetaan opposition parti si ñoom yëpp ñu naka xaajaarloo so ñun jogoon nañ try waaw amoon na ñaari parti yoo xam ne nag ñoom nag engage on nañ ma pour waxtaan ma chair meeting yooyu noonu so ci waxtaan boobu noonu waxtaan bu teel la woon biñ toogee waxtaan muy APRC GDC dëgga waxtaan bi yëpp dem na yoon jaar na yoon bot biñ demee ba nga xam ne egga nañ certain stage man suma boppa maa wax ne léegi jar na pour leaders yi ñoom ñu toog not for now but at a later date parce que xam nga rek ñun yëpp ñu ngi doon assess gis nañ situation bi ni mu doon demee so su boobaa mun naa wax nit ñi ne waxtaan boobu nekkul ne waxtaan bu amut la waaye waxtaan boo xam ne ba léegi ñu ngi ko mun a continuer so boobu noonu waxtaan boobu continuer ba léegi parce que des na rek ci parti leaders yi ñu toog ñoom i neen ñu seet but after waxtaan boobu am na yeneen waxtaan yi nga xam ne def nañ ko ak opposition party leaders parties yi seen representatives yi ba léegi waxtaan yooyu ñu ngi on waaye nag si beneen waxtaan gars yi parties yi dañu waxoon ne ñoom amoon na ñoo xam ne dañ soxloon time pour dem di waxtaan ak seen supporters yi su boobaa ñun itam as concerned Gambians ak suñu effort ñu ne léegi nag konka loolu la ñun dinañ leen jox time but yéen ngeen dem waxtaan but ñun itam dinañ seet situation bi su boobaa ñun itam léegi dem nañ fi nga xam ne tollu nañ man ak team bi ak ñi nga xam ne suñ coordinators yi ñu decide ne bañ xoolee statistics yi bañ xoolee Gambia politique bi ni mu toll ñu xam ne benn parti bi nga xam ne jar na ñu liggéey ak moom wala understand nga ñu support ko as Gambians as independents ak parti boo xam ne la dafa yaatu pare na pour liggéey pour ci Gambia a progressive agenda parti boobu ñu gis ko si GDC bañ waxtaanee ñu gis ne definitely parti bi jar na parti boo xam ne ñun yëpp ñu booloo te ba léegi ñoom ñu ngi open pour liggéey ak parti si so su boobaa ñu ne ñun daal ñu gaaw seet nu ñoo liggéey ak moom su boobaa moo tax ñu announce tey ne ñun tey suñ tànk officiel yi déclaré nañ ne understand nañ liggéey ak GDC ak honorable Mama Kandeh pour ñu jàppale ko comme December election. Finally maa ngi tànk ñëpp léegi comme niñ ko moderator bi waxee Mr Johnson mun nañoo ibi floor bi su ko defee as time limited.
Thank you, Martin. Regarding what he has said, the floor is open. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mbalo, for the pertinent question. Really, like I say, we assess the situation. Some of us have known the political dynamics since 2016. And if you look at it, I mean, we have options that when you look at currently, you have certain parties that are claiming that they are within the Gambians' understanding of saying that they are the bigger party. But apart from that, we assess the situation. We know that the incumbent, that is the current party in government, is not fit for purpose. It has failed in all angles. If you look at our institutions are down, he is not honoring his word, he has failed with his words, he has failed with the institutions. So he is not an option. And then really he is also failed in terms of not honoring the reforms that were promised at the beginning. Secondly, when we look at the entire terrain, we see that the agenda of the GDC is the one that can remedy, that can help bring what this country needs. The GDC will provide jobs for the youths. First of all, that's the biggest target for these coming elections. After having conversation with the leader, we have seen that the GDC have a progressive agenda in also tackling energy and pollution and traffic problems in this Gambia. But most importantly is the GDC that assure us that they will fight to make sure that the sovereignty of this Gambia is restored, because currently we are losing our sovereignty. Another important issue that the GDC discussed was that, the issue of security, to make sure that we made our security fit for purpose and give confidence back to entire Gambian security. And also the GDC has assured that the constitutional reform process will continue, and in the next GDC government or government that's involving the GDC will make sure that the agenda of promoting amendments to better the constitution of the Gambia. So these are all things that we've discussed, and also how they can also improve the living standards of the Gambians. All these policies are out there in their manifesto, but most importantly, it's the GDC leader especially assured us that he is going to work as partners with other political parties. The first thing that I spoke when we discussed is I was saying that, well, some parties are saying party-led, party-led. He told me it is partnership in government that I believe in. I believe in working with good Gambians, honest Gambians that we can deliver for the Gambian people. Based on that assessment, we looked at that the GDC is a party that Gambians can look to help them be the savior. And most importantly, when we look at the electoral cycles, we see that, they were there with 17% good in the last election, and come to the local government election, there is a proof that the GDC has improved a lot.
Yes, Partner, you have the floor.
Okay, ASSAN. I want to discuss about the APRC issue. Clearly, some people, you were rooting in for Honorable Khan. Now you are here announcing that you're supporting Honorable Khan. In any way, is this an indication that yes, you were in support of Khan-led alliance? And again, why not go in for the APRC than Khan?
Let me say this. It's very important that we explain to the people. That's why. Those two parties, they chose me to chair a meeting. It's not that I was rooting or I was, supporting or, trying to show that Honorable Kande would be a suited candidate. In fact, they forwarded proposals. And if I can remember, part of those proposals, it's an issue that one party, maybe the APRC party, insisted on one thing, that is the APRC led, and also insisted on also being the flag bearer come the elections in 2021. As for me, as I say, I was there as a chair. And finally, there were questions that were put to me from especially the APRC camp, for instance. If I was to choose the choice that they have in their box and the choice, for instance, what the GDC have, there was a choice that when I look at it, I said it is important and it is better for the parties to sit down together at their leadership level and decide. I cannot make that choice for them, really, but if you look at it, after 22 years, let's be honest here, in government, and looking at what the current political dynamics are, and I think if I was to discuss some of these issues, you will see that, it wouldn't go well. As far as I'm concerned, is that the proposal from other side, GDC, was very reasonable. We don't want to discuss too much on points that were made there, but I can tell you that if a better choice, let me repeat this, to be honest, was made, I think a deal will have emerged. But as far as we know, I always advise them that it is better for the leadership to decide. But there were reasonability in terms of thinking, and I think a compromise will have helped them move forward. But I'm always hopeful that they can see a deal and they can move forward. It is up to the parties. It is not me. But I cannot tell the one party, like you claim, APRC, to accept A or B. It is up to them. During those negotiations, I always repeat, the parties have their prerogative. They are the ones to decide. But really, the issue is that whether, we are rooting for Kande or we want them to make my Honorable Kande to lead, it was not. If things were done well in terms of the party leader sitting and then coming with a compromise, I believe that the two parties at that time, choosing me as a chair, they could have sealed a deal. It is not for me to tell them who to lead their alliance. I hope that is clear, unless you have a follow-up question on that.
Thank you very much. Well, on the issue of alliance still, of course, you said other political parties are still open for discussions to bring more political parties together for an alliance. But now that you have made an announcement that your team is supporting Mama Kande in this election, don't you think this might discourage other parties coming on board for the alliance that you have been since you have started discussions?
No, what happened is that we were doing our own personal efforts with the coordinators as concerned Gambians who believe that we are trying to create an environment whereby the parties can sit down and discuss. Having looked at the situation, we have tried our level best, we have tried our efforts. We can only take it to party level. As I say, being in these negotiations and being in this kind of talks, it's a very difficult situation. If you know currently about 14, 15 parties, sometimes, you're not dealing with 2, 3 parties. You're dealing with a lot of parties who have agendas and positions. But then again, as a coordinator or sometimes as somebody who chairs this meeting, it is a very difficult one. So, having looked at it, we tried our best whereby we push the thing to the parties themselves. Some parties have built their own committees to make sure that they engage in a negotiation. I am now taking myself out of this thing because for one reason is that I believe now the parties themselves, currently, they have already chosen to do it themselves. And I can assure the public here that talks are still going on. I am not giving authority to talk about those talks, but I can be rest assured that maybe in the next few weeks, because time is the essence. For us, as I say, we have assessed and analyzed that it is good for the parties themselves to take up the initiative. We've tried our best. It's not easy. Then if they take the initiative, I think their party leaders coming together, sitting together, it may help to speed the process. Either they can sit down on a compromise initiative. As I say, this is the only time that we have to do. We don't have time. Time is limited. We're now talking about 90 days or less or more towards election. So for us, I agree that it won't discourage anybody. It's always saying that, the party that I endorse or the candidate that I endorse is ready to reach out. And I think it can give impetus for somehow for us to say that not only working, because the person that I endorse is open and he still believes in partnership. So it's just now for the parties themselves at their committee level to work as partners and come out with a deal. But for some of us always keeping them, trying to keep them on their toes, well, we have to move on. But I don't think it will discourage them. The talks are still open, and I believe that they themselves, the parties, have selected people now who can move these things. As far as we are concerned, in the next few weeks, they should give you update to as I am doing now.
All right. On APRC and GDC also coming together to form alliance maybe, what are the chances of a breakthrough, considering that we are hearing NPP, APRC making the headlines of a coalition in recent times?
Honestly, this was also our biggest problem because, every party, certain parties were here and also they were there, trying to negotiate. In fact, that was the reason why we put the talks on hold to a later date, because we heard that, the APRC were going to another direction to negotiate, for instance, with the MPP. That's why we said that let's give them a time. But again, it doesn't prevent the APRC GDC coming together. What it is, the chances are that I cannot tell, but I am very hopeful that right now, if the leadership of the APRC and leadership of the GDC, which I respect both parties, I believe that for them, if they believe first to save the sovereignty of this country, which sometimes some of us are very much concerned, coming together on that agenda, really, they can quickly come. The chances are that really 75%. But as far as we are concerned, well, they are talking to other parties. Well, what is happening there, we don't know. But I am very hopeful that looking at the APRC grassroots and looking at the GDC grassroots or the supporters, really there is a nexus that, you know, APRC, GDC, really, if they come together, it will make a huge difference. But for now, we have to wait and see. As I said, the next 2 weeks or few weeks is very crucial in Gambian politics because we need to have something to tell to the public. But I believe that APRC, GDC, they are still open to talks. How that happened, maybe I may not be there, but there are people who can still facilitate that, especially at the grassroots levels.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. We have another question to ask.
Going on, we appeal to them to make sure that they do time to time come out and update the media. And we expect that maybe in the next 2-3 weeks, something very important may come out so that at least it can help us to give us a direction. But as I say, people be hopeful that very soon, you know, some good news may come in some alliance talks. The parties are still talking, but for some of us, we believe that it is time to move to the next level where we can see how to move the parties towards a good standing point. And we are also ready to work with such parties as the GDC, which is ready to partner with any party. It's not the GDC we're insisting. Let me say this. It is not that we're insisting for them to say that they are going to be an alliance leader. It is up to the parties to decide that. But for some of us, we believe in their agenda. That's why we're taking this step. So I thank you all once more, and I definitely apologize for being time constrained. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
The locations, the design, the materials used, all the way down to the latest details are few of many things that we focused on when we envisioned the airport residency. As proud innovators of community estates, the airport residency in Old Yundum, a project by Swami India International, offers unique gated community with 3- and 4-bedroom villas and duplexes. Just 5 minutes away from the Banjul International Airport. Luxury, convenience, and accessibility are some of the reasons you should consider this great housing opportunity. With a clubhouse, a playground, access roads, and parking facilities available for your dream home or a valuable investment, you will find all you need at Airport Residency here in Old Yundum.
Welcome to Staples, the office superstore for all your office needs, office furnitures, office equipment, office kitchenwares, office stationery. Get all you need for your workplace. Office desks, chairs, workstation, conference table, computers, printers, monitors, sofas, filing cabinets, water dispensers, microwaves, ovens, air coolers, and lots more. Staples, the best superstore in the Gambia.
Star GSM has new arrivals of home appliances with 2 years warranty and a promotion on 2-way gas cooker, gas or electric, at a cost of $10,000, which used to be $17,000, and a deeper freezer, $10,000, which used to be $15,000. Stand fans rechargeable and at least for 8 hours. Different stand freezers, deep freezers from 140 to 400 liters. Blenders, original flat screens from 32 inches to 65 inches. At Star GSM, their appliances are original, durable, modern, and energy saving. Star GSM also have sports shoes, Timberland, and Scandals. Original perfumes from India, Churai and Andy Churai from Dubai. Star GSM offer its customers 25% discount on all smartphones, simple phones, and